That's amazing. Well, all things considered, not too long of a delay on a dreary night here from Arlington, Texas. The Mariners and the Rangers getting set now for Game 2 of this 3-game series behind James Paxton. A win tonight for the Mariners would mean a series win and a chance for a sweep tomorrow in the finale. Happy to have you with us. Aaron Goldsmith, Mike Lowers, our entire Root Sports crew. Bartolo Colon up on the mound for the Rangers. And his first pick of the ball game is in for a strike to D. Gordon. Colon making his first start at home as a Texas Ranger. And Mike, might we see some fastballs tonight?
We will see a lot of fastballs from Colon, ranging from 86 to 92 miles an hour. He throws his fastball 86% of the time. But it's worked for him this year. Opponents hitting just 177 against Colon. D. Gordon leading things off. What a night he had last night. Gordon was on base 4 times last night, scored a couple of runs, had a stolen base. His overall average this year over 300.
Now 9 steals on the season for D, yet to be caught. Up the middle, another base hit for D. Gordon.
Good way to start things. Take a look at the rest of the lineup for the Mariners. Again, good night for the Mariners last night. A lot of runs being scored late in the ball game, and Gene Segura 3 for 5 with a couple of RBIs. Really helped the Mariners out. Great to have Mike Zunino and Ben Campbell back in the lineup. They will finish up 8 and 9. Mentioned with Colon, he will throw a lot of fastballs. He'll mix in a slider and occasional changeup. Overall this year, this will be his 3rd start. 18 and 2/3 innings, 17 strikeouts, only 2 walks. And there's the average against 177.
Now, former Mariner Doug Fister now the disabled list for the Rangers. That's what opened up a spot in the rotation for Colon. Continues to keep an eye on D. Gordon. The numbers this season for Segura. And the big hit last night. Go ahead 2-run double in the 9th inning. And Mike, I know that was an at-bat for a couple of different reasons. Kind of below the surface, it really impressed you.
Well, it was late in the ball game, facing Kella, whose fastball was 97 miles an hour. And I thought for Segura, who typically is an aggressive hitter, wants to swing the bat, he was really patient, took some borderline pitches. Ended up getting the count to 3-2, and on 3-2 he had a slider that was just off the plate away, was able to foul off before he got the fastball middle away and lined it into right center to drive in a couple of runs.
Again, 4th time over to take a look at D. Gordon.
Just trying to tire him out.
There goes D. And for the first time this year, Gordon caught stealing.
Strong throw by Chirinos. Bit of a slide step from Colon. Just a perfect throw.
Now ball and strike on Segura.
As you watch the game, you will notice a lot of movement on the fastball from Colon. He'll typically, the right-hander, start it off the plate away and try to run it back to the corner. So do you now. 9 out of 10.
Mazzara in right field for out number 2. The rest of the defense for the Rangers.
A little bit different in the outfield. Renato Nunez getting the start in left field. Carlos Tochi, the center field, just saw Mazzara out and right. And Adrian Beltre at third base for the Texas Rangers. 5 gold gloves for Beltre.
And for those of you scoring along with us at home, Rick Riz, Dave Sims, it was an hour and 25-minute delay. Plenty of showers here in North Texas. Robbie showing a little bit of a bunt looking at strike 1. Cano, very good numbers in his career against Cologne. 7 for 18, 1 home run. Right back up the middle. Profar behind the bag. They're pretty quick and tidy. 1, 2, 3, top of the first despite that leadoff single. Back-to-back quality starts, making start number 5 in total this season. Take a look at the lineup written down by Jeff Bannister.
It's been a struggle for the Rangers offensively, hitting just .230 against left-handers this year. Shin-Soo Choo will lead things off. He's the DH. 5 home runs on the year for him. Nomar Mazzara hitting .300 for the Rangers. He will bat third, and Carlos Tochi will round out the 9 for the Rangers. For Paxton, again, he just continues to get better each time out. This will be his 5th start. ERA at 4.5. His first outing a bit of a struggle. 28 strikeouts, though, in 21 2/3. Opponents hitting just .226 against James.
Start 2 off with the first pitch strike. Mike, one thing we'll see tonight from James that I think has really become a storyline for Paxton this year. His last 3 starts, he's thrown roughly 25 sliders each time. This is a pitch that has become, in a lot of ways, a go-to pitch for him. We know that he's got that great velocity on the fastball. That time a curveball, but that slider's the pitch he's thrown a ton.
Yeah, you're right. And when you look at his fastball this year, average fastball 96 miles an hour. We've already seen 96 here in the first inning. It wasn't uncommon to look at Paxton and how much he would use his fastball. It used to be in the 70 to 80, but now right around 61%. And the reason why is because of his slider. And you can see right there, he uses it quite a bit more, up to 21%. Ahead in the count to try to bury you at 40%. Typically, the right-handers will try to throw it down and then give him a swing over the top. This foul ball will go into the stands. Take a look at the defense for the Mariners. Ben Gamble back in the lineup today. He will be in left field. Robinson Cano, what a night he had last night. Started a number of double plays. Really played well, especially going to his left. Mike Zunino, his 2nd game back with the Mariners. Great to have Mike back behind the plate.
The 2-2. First batter faced, first strikeout, elevated heat at 97.
Great sign for James. Typically for Paxton, tries to find his way the first couple of innings, but he feels pretty good tonight if he's hitting 97 here in the first. His last outing, just 3 hits through 6 innings, 1 earned run for him. That's 7 strikeouts. I think there will be times over the course of this year, Aaron, which is a little bit unusual in today's game, but they'll let James go 115, 120, I think, as far as his pitch count. 106 his last time out.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the second baseman, batting second. Shoots this foul. Paxton ahead 1-2. Just missing up and in. Mariners, a fantastic win last night in game 1. In play, Segura trying to get rid of it to first. Not in time.
A little bit of a bobble cost him. Strong throw. That's all the way across the diamond, flat-footed as he makes the backhanded play. He was going to throw it on the run, I think, to get rid of it quickly. And then had a little bit of a bobble, plants his foot right there, fires it across the diamond. That'll be an infield hit.
First base runner tonight for Texas. Here is now Nomar Mazara. Off to a nice start, batting just over 300. Ruled ball 1. Look at the season total numbers for Paxton, granted just through 4 starts, and that first start this year is what has ballooned his ERA to just over 4.5. 6 earned, 4 2/3 in his first start against the Indians. But since then, 2 earned runs or fewer, 2 runs or fewer, in fact, his last 3 starts. Back-to-back quality starts for Paxton.
I think again for James, once he gets past his mechanics, in other words, he's comfortable with where he's at, it means a lot to him. He really concentrates on that. That's when you see him start to work deeper into ball games, more aggressive, able to throw his off-speed pitches when he wants to. Another good fastball at 96 right there. And I think one of the things we're seeing, and we mentioned it, him using his slider more. It's an excellent pitch, but that's kind of the trend now going in baseball. We just saw that with Houston, who was in town, and I think James is seeing how valuable that can be, especially with his ability to throw 95 to 100. The thing is, also had the fastball, but he wanted to pitch everybody inside. He'll move the fastball around now.
Over Vogelback's glove and a fair ball. Kiner-Falefa making his way to third. Haniger in the corner. Kiner-Falefa waved home. Cado's throw not made. Nomar Mazara has given the Rangers an early 1-0 lead.
That's just a bad break. Vogelback holding the runner on, and he bounces it over his head. It was all the way down in the corner. That was on a breaking ball. Looks like it's curveball again. 82 miles an hour. When you look at the Rangers lineup, Adrian Beltre is the one guy that he needs to be careful with. Beltre, 563 with a home run in his career, 9 for 16.
Now you're right about the bad break over Vogelback, but even more so is that's called ball 1. The fact that Falefa was nearly an out. Barely got aboard. Tough play by Segura. Mazar drives him in. He's at second. Paxton last year 3 starts against the Rangers. Kind of some mixed results. Was brilliant in his first outing. 8 scoreless, 9 strikeouts. His other 2 starts each went for 3 2/3 and a combined 9 earned. Two and one.
Pretty good fastball in the inside corner, and again with his fastball, you can see average fastball almost the same when he's ahead in the count. You can see that behind in the count, though, throwing it less. That's a big key for him. 81% down from 88% when he's behind. He can mix in his slider or even a curveball from time to time. It almost seems unfair for somebody whose average fastball is 95. And again, he can touch 100.
So that 7% difference in this particular case is enough to plant the seed of doubt in a hitter's mind?
I think so, especially with when he's going to use it. And then the other thing about it, too, is when he's ahead in the count, he'll bury the slider, so he's just throwing it more often. And as a hitter, you're going to see that. These guys will talk about it. So I believe that that is the case.
1 out and 1 on. The 2-2. Second strikeout for Paxton at the knees.
And it's especially true against the few hitters in the lineup that he has to be careful with if he falls behind, to be able to come back with something other than his fastball every time. And this off-speed pitch down in the strike zone. Beltre swinging over the top of it.
Here's Renato Nunez, the left fielder. Look at the strikeout numbers, as Paxton already has 2 here in the first inning. Last 2 starts for James, 12 total innings. He's got 6 each time. And a combined 17 strikeouts. Of course, tied a career best, 10 punch-outs, 2 starts ago against the Royals.
Things, Aaron, when pitchers at this level can work ahead of hitters, it's a big advantage for them. And then you look at somebody like James, who has the plus stuff, the big fastball, the hard slider, makes it even more difficult.
Ahead 1-2.
You can already see it here in the first inning. Good fastball, 95 to 97 so far, but he's trying to mix it up a little bit more than we probably usually see him. Another off-speed pitch right there.
Paxton's 1-2. It's an inside. Mazar, the RBI double out at second base. Paxton now 25 pitches this inning. Slider misses low to make it a full count, first of its kind this inning. Profar on deck. The payoff. Ball go back over towards foul territory, out of play. Well, the Mariners certainly trying to build on last night's win. Offense came late, but it certainly came. No decision for Felix. Mariners able to get to the back end of that Rangers bullpen last night.
Felix really threw the ball well last night. Talked about it, and mixing up his pitches, he was able to do that. Locate his fastball.
2-out walk.
James now throwing a lot of pitches here in the first. 28 pitches.
Now you can almost count up on one full hand the calls that have not gone his way already this inning.
That's the low fastball. He's not getting the call on anything that's in the bottom of the zone. Gary Cedarstrom, the home plate umpire, crew chief, not giving him the low fastball right now.
Two outs and 2 out for Profar. Switch hitter batting right-handed. Nunez the walk. Mazar the double out at second. Behind 2-0, here comes Zunino. Very close to that last pitch.
Well, 30 pitches in the inning. An important count, 2-0. For Profar ahead in the count. Mike Zunino taking a trip out to the mound. I'm sure they're on the same page. Give James a little bit of a break.
Paxton's first start of the season, it was a 29-pitch first inning. Rather shortened his day. He went 4 2/3 against the Indians. The 2-1. D. Gordon in center field. Calls it in for round number 3. 2 are left. 1 scores for Texas. They lead it through the first. The local agent at Safeco.com. Do more. By the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting cutting-edge comedian Dane Cook, June 16th. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. And by your local Ford stores. A 1 hour and 25-minute delay tonight for Game 2 of the series. Right at the top of the second. Just a little bit of rain in the area. Bartolo Colon, a 10-pitch first inning. Meanwhile, the final total for Paxton, 32 in the bottom of the first. Nothing in too quickly on Cruz.
Nelson with a couple of doubles in last night's ball game. again, you will see that a lot. Cologne starting the fastball off the plate away from the right-handers, trying to run it back to the corner.
Skipping quickly to Profar. One down. Join us at Safeco Field on May the 4th as we celebrate Star Wars Night with nearly 70 Star Wars characters, a sneak peek of the new Solo movie, and a Han Solo-inspired Kyle Seeger bobblehead for the first 20,000 fans. Just head on over to Mariners.com to pick up your tickets. Rangers put the shift on for Kyle. Now, Mike, no Joey Gallo in the lineup for the Rangers tonight, so we will not see, as Scott told us today, what they have coined the Gallo shift, which I got to say, I thought the horseshoe was a little more catchy.
I think that horseshoe when we're here in Arlington, the Gallo when they're up in Seattle.
Oh, fair. Very fair. Scott was amused in a get out of my office way when I mentioned the cul-de-sac name.
I'm really surprised by that, Aaron. I thought maybe you were a little bit too excited about seeing that last night. I knew that you would be at his office door before he even arrived today to talk to him about it.
Joey Gallo has seen a 4-man outfield this year. He has seen a 4-man, well, 5-man right side of the field. Flattens out easily for Guzman for round number 2. Last 3 outs have been on the ground facing Cologne. I mean, really, for those who did not see it last night, the shift the Mariners put on Joey Gallo, if you were to draw a line from center cut of home plate over the mound and straight away into center field, there was one person on the left side of that line, and that was Guillermo Heredia, the left fielder. Everybody else was on the right side of it. Be interested to see what else other teams come up with facing Gallo this year.
Oh, I think it was Houston that had 4 outfielders out there with him hitting.
What a night last night for Mitch Haniger. Triple shy of the cycle, the game tying home run. He helped to add on even further in the ninth. We go back to the game tire in the 8th.
And this is a big boy home run out to dead center field. Up onto the grass. Mitch now with 5 home runs, 17 RBIs. Tied up the ball game.
Strike 3 called. Haniger down on 3 pitches. Side sat down in order. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. From the states of Washington and Oregon, thank you for rooting on the Seattle Mariners. Mike, myself, all of us at Root Sports, and we'll certainly appreciate your support. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Bottom third due up for Texas. Here is Robinson Chirinos.
You mentioned it, James, with 32 pitches in the first inning. We'd like to see a couple of quick innings here. Thought he threw the ball well, had the one walk, but a couple of strikeouts in the first. Looked like his slider was going to be a good pitch for him, and his fastball was 95 to 97, and it's that last pitch right there. That's a good pitch. He needs to get that. That's at the bottom of the strike zone, especially in this ballpark. You're trying to keep it on the ground.
So this is the question, right, Mike? If you're Paxton, do you keep going back to the location time and time again, just waiting?
I think you have to. I think you have to, and I think that Mike will probably start to help him out. He'll have a conversation with Gary. Mike has been around long enough. Because the biggest difference, too, is as soon as the innings are over, they'll go right back and they'll take a look at it, and they'll see exactly what is going on. And Mike will have a conversation with Gary to try to open that lower half up.
Three strikeouts for Paxton. Use your Mariners ticket to ride Lakeland Rail to and from the game through June 3rd. You can learn more at soundtransit.org. Well, the swing and miss stuff cooking early tonight for Paxton. A couple of strikeouts in the first, one to begin the second. That's the first pitch strike at 96.
Thrown the curveball 3 or 4 times now. It doesn't appear to have a lot of bite to it here early on. I like his slider a little bit better. Curveball down out of the strike zone.
Is 1-2. A weak wave and a miss. Paxton has struck out 4 of the first 8 hitters faced tonight.
Making an adjustment with the curveball. The last couple of them down out of the strike zone. Take a look at our Primera Supermo and the breaking ball. 83 miles an hour on the curveball down out of the strike zone. Nice job by Mike Zunino to keep the ball in front of him. No surprise there. He's one of the best at it.
There's Carlos Tocci, the center fielder, batting 9th. Right over the heart of the plate for strike 1. Tough numbers this year for Tocci. In fact, tough numbers for Rangers center fielders. They are last in the big leagues in that position, batting 151 this year. Delano DeShields getting hurt. Has hurt the Rangers. A number of players out. Andrews, Odor. DeShields continuing his rehab of broken hamate bone.
Of course, the Mariners continue to get healthy. Mentioned Mike Zunino, his second game back. Gamble in the lineup tonight, which is good to see. Ryan Healy had a good night last night on his rehab. That's a good sign. Like to get him back.
Healy with a home run last night. Back in North Little Rock where the Travelers are. There's some rain that way, and in fact they're postponed tonight. A beautiful Dickey Stevens Park, so no game tonight for Ryan Healy. Paxton's 1-2 on the way.
Again, missing with the curveball up out of the strike zone.
Now 50 pitches for Paxton, 32 in the first inning. And Tochi putting up a fight here. This will be at least an 8-pitch plate appearance. Another 2-2. Paxton strikes out the side in order. And he has spanned 5 Rangers batters through 2 innings. .com. Do more. Good look at downtown Dallas. Here in Arlington from Globe Life Park. We start third.
When you were talking about the Mariners and winning the ball game, scoring late last night. Well, somebody that we really haven't mentioned is Daniel Vogelback. He's the one that ended up getting things started with a line drive down into the right field corner to lead the inning off. Pinch runner Andrew Romine for him, but hit the ball hard.
I mean, the ball that got stuck in the wall.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Unpredictably, through the first 2 innings, Cologne 21 pitches, 18 fastballs.
Well, you mentioned his almost perfect game, and I watched a lot of that game, Aaron, and the one thing that he was doing is he was staying to the glove side of the plate the entire time, and there it is again on the inside corner, and that's what he was doing. Mentioned it to the right-hander, starting the fastball off the plate away until the lefties, something that Greg Maddux used to do all the time, and a similar fastball in that 87-88 range that started at the left-hander's hip, they give up on it, and then it runs back in. They take it for a strike, and we saw that a couple of times right there to Daniel.
Well, you look at most career starts versus the Mariners among active pitchers, and Bartolo Colon making his 38th career start tonight against the Mariners. Sabathia, Verlander, Derek Holland, of course, a longtime Ranger, then James Shields, now with the White Sox. He gets a piece as Zanino. Tell where that hit him, Mike?
I was nervous because I thought maybe it hit him on the wrist, but maybe it caught him a little bit on the forearm or his elbow. You drilled on the wrist or on your hands. It's Never a good thing to take a look again at the Primera Supermo, and there's the running fastball running in on him, trying to check his swing, and that is on the wrist.
Gamble looks at strike one. You mentioned the movement on that fastball from Cologne. I mean, that's the only way you can describe how you can run out there between 86 and 90 miles an hour, throw, goodness, 80 plus fastballs a game.
Almost 90%.
And be okay.
And when he's behind, it's 100% every time. I could not believe that's the first time I've seen that.
Beltre at third. Gamble on number 2.
It's the first time I've seen it this year when you're looking at pitchers and trying to think about a game plan. When he's behind the count, he will throw his fastball 100% of the time. There's no guessing to it.
No,
but he also, it'll be 86 to 92.
Right.
And depending on whether how he wants to really sink it or run it. And location is everything to him.
Cologne really let me know what it's like when Mike Blowers wins the lottery, because when Blow was looking at his packet of information on Cologne and situational pitches, and he saw the pie graph, which was just one solid color of fastball percentage when behind of the count, and it was 100% all blue. Mike lost his mind.
And the 100% was right in the middle of it, so you wouldn't miss it. And it's the first time I've seen that. D. Gordon had a base hit, a one hit for the Mariners so far, a base hit to lead the game on.
D was caught stealing for the first time this year. Two outs, Zunino at second.
There's the same pitch, 88 miles an hour.
Into center, drops in front of Tochi. Zunino coming home. Here comes the throw. Play at the plate. Bobbled. Zunino is safe, and D. Gordon has tied this game in the third inning.
Take a look at it. With 2 outs, it's worth sending him. You can see the throw beat him. Chirino's the catcher, not able to handle it. I can see the ball is on the ground, so he fights his way through and puts his hand on the plate. Gary Cedarstrom calling him safe. Clutch base hit for D. Gordon, who moves to second on the throw. His second base hit of the ball game.
They give Chirinos an error on that, but an RBI base hit. I beg your pardon, no error on the play. It's an RBI single.
It's been great to see this year here in the early going for the Mariners, and I know they struggled a little bit at the end of the homestand. Going into tonight's game, hitting with runners in scoring position, Aaron, 282 as a team. That's a big jump for them.
That's been a huge strength over the last week in particular or so for the Mariners.
And we saw it again last night in the 9th inning. Gene Segura picking up one of those hits, driving in a couple of runs.
Beltre charges. D. Gordon is stranded at second base, but he has tied this game with an RBI base hit into center field. We're even at 1. Bottom of the third. I'll take a look at our Geico this day in big league history. We take you back to this day in 1972. It was Teddy Ballgame, Ted Williams, managing the Texas Rangers to their very first win ever in an American League game played right here in Texas. 7-3 was the final score. Chu fouls away the first pitch. Williams, a big league manager for 4 years.
What remember what the date was that we opened up this year? March.
The 29th, right at the end of the month.
In that game that they had theirs, it was April 21st.
Little different.
Little different. Well, you have to like the strikeout numbers for Paxton. 5 of them through the first 2 innings. Unfortunately, it's cost him a lot of pitches on his pitch count. Now at 54. His last outing, he went 6 innings and threw 106 pitches. So 110 in that area is probably fine for him.
Here's 1-2. Shot to left. Gamble having to pick up some speed to the track. Short hops the wall. Chu with the leadoff double.
Some power in the leadoff spot. Mentioned it at the start of the game. Chu came into the game as the leadoff hitter with 5 home runs. He is DHing tonight. Short hops the wall out in left field.
Now Chu now 5 for 11 lifetime against Paxton. Connor Falefa, an infield base hit in the first, would later score on Mazzara's double. He digs in now. On bunt, looks at borderline ball 1. Three and 0. Not getting anything borderline tonight. Mazzara the man on deck. To that time at 95, 3 balls and a strike. Paxton trying to work around the leadoff double by Chu. Two on, nobody out. Second walk tonight for James. Couple of men on in front of Mazzara. I'll tell you how much this lineup has changed in recent years for the Rangers. When Mazzara first came up, it was really, of course, like any young player, basically a complimentary piece in this lineup. And now he is one of the real focal points of this lineup for Jeff Bannister.
He has to be. Off to a pretty good start. You see the .311 batting average. Had a double his first time up. Drove in the run, the 1 run for the Rangers.
Chu and Connor Falefa aboard, nobody out.
Mariners were able to turn a couple of double plays in last night's ball game, and James would like to see that right here.
Here's 1-1. More curveballs than we've seen through the first 2+ innings in previous starts.
I was thinking the same thing, and it seems to me that he's throwing this curveball more to the left-handed hitters. They have 3 lefties in the lineup.
It's away from Zunino, and both men advance. 2 to third, counter for Manfred to second.
James was trying to point it out. Mike couldn't find it right away. I don't think it would have made a difference. The runners were going to move up. Nobody out. The Mariners will play their infield back. Here's a low strike. Finally able to get a low strike called for him. And look at the defense.
Paxton's 3-2. Boy, that did miss. Back-to-back walks.
Now we'll bring out Mel Stottlemyre. We'll make a trip to the mound. Second mound visit to Paxton. The first one was back in the first inning. Mike Zunino making a trip out to the mound. Stottlemyre's first time out. You mentioned it, Adrian Beltre, cleanup hitter for the Rangers. He's really done well against James in his career, hitting over 500. Paxton able to strike him out his first time up.
Bases loaded, nobody out here in the bottom of the third. It was the double by Chu, then back-to-back walks. Connor Falefa and Mazzara. Already 66 pitches through 2+ innings for Paxton tonight. Beltre to right. Haniger backing up on it. Chu ready to run. Coming down the line, sacrifice fly. Adrian Beltre has given Texas now a 2-1 lead. Connor Falefa into third base. So runners on the corners now for Renato Nunez. Only 7 at-bats so far this season. Oh, 1-1.
Mariners looking for the double play ball. Typically, James, his slider's been a good ground ball pitch for him this year. He can either get a strikeout with it or keep it on the ground as you take a look at the defense.
It would be the first double play ball behind Paxton this year. He's up 0-2.
Situation typically to the right-hander, he will go to his slider and he'll throw it down out of the strike zone, basically towards their back foot, trying to get them to swing over the top of it.
Is 0-2. One thing that Scott's talked about every 5 days, it seems like, whenever Paxton's up on the mound, Mike, is Paxton trying to get just that step better and putting hitters away once he gets to 2 strikes. It seems like so many times, and this cannot be isolated just to James, but with 2 strikes, we see at least 1, if not multiple, foul balls.
Well, it's because of his stuff. They're trying to protect the plate, and they can't square him up when they're behind. That was the slider right there. Left it up in the zone. And I like that pitch because he just threw a fastball at 96 on the inside corner, jammed him with it as he fouled it off. Came back with the slider. I think if he throws it in that same location but down out of the strike zone, really good chance to pick up a strikeout. He had him set up for that pitch. Just missed.
Another 0-2. Soft pop up. Cano out, Haniger in. Mitch makes the catch. Meanwhile, Connor Falefa bluffing, getting back to third. That was a close call in right field.
Man, pretty good concentration to hang on to it.
How does that pecking order work?
It's up to Mitch. I was watching Robbie right there going back. I didn't see him calling the ball, so he was going to go back and try to make the play and listen for the right fielder. So it's up to Mitch to call him off. And I didn't see Mitch whether he was yelling or not. Apparently, Cano certainly didn't hear him, but the outfielder calls it. The infielder has to get out of the way.
So after the first 3 men reached, Robbie comes over. That is not a mound visit. First 3 men reaching this inning. Paxton retiring each of the last 2. Now, if Robbie had made his way to the mound, Mike, and started talking to James, not to get to technicalities, but that would have been a mound visit.
Well, he went to the mound to clean his spikes off. And you could tell once he was out to the mound to clean his spikes, he actually turned his back to James, I think, to let the umpires know, I'm not talking to him here. Don't count this as a visit. They've already had 2 with James, and it's early in the ball game. And the umpire, the second base umpire, immediately said that that was not a visit.
0-2 on Profar.
Next pitch will be 75 for James, working here in the 3rd inning.
Well, not a ton of wiggle room after that 32 pitch first. Has not had a quick frame.
And to your point, another foul ball. Foul ball on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that's up and in. And the hitters really have a tough time getting to it. The Rangers, mentioned it earlier, have struggled this year with runners in scoring position. There's their current .201 batting average. Back to the slider. That was well located.
Two outs, runners on the corners. Paxton's 1-2. Jammed him. Counter for left with a walk. Mazara, same story over first 3 walks through 2 2/3 for Paxton. Another 1-2.
Another fastball. Now one more out over the plate, down.
.24 foul balls. 13 of those have come with 2 strikes. Add another to the list. Now the next pitch will be number 80.
That's be 4 or 5 just in this at bat.
That's the 4th with 2 strikes on Profar that he's fouled off.
Again, James is making some really good pitches. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat.
Seager over for a look. A foul ball. So, Mike, are we saying throw less good stuff and you won't have so many foul balls and you'll get out of an inning quicker?
Well, I don't think that's quite what we're talking about.
Line drive, fair ball. Connor Falefa scores. Mazzara hustling into third. He's getting waved in. Gamble's throw cut. Segura's throw home, not in time. 2 men are in, and the Rangers extend their lead after a pesky at-bat by Jurickson Profar. 4-1 Rangers.
It was 9 pitches, a slider down and in. That's a pretty good swing to keep that ball fair.
And one thing we know for sure is the bullpen is going to have a lot of work tonight. Paxton now 81 pitches. Both those walks score. Oh, 2. Paxton racks up his 6th strikeout. But a 3-run 3rd inning for the Texas Rangers. They have taken a 4-1 lead. Officially returned. Root Sports will be looking for the ultimate fan of the state of Oregon throughout the month of April. Send us a photo and story on our website at rootsports.com/ultimate-fan, and you could win a VIP trip or 2 to Seattle in September, a personalized jersey, and more. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. Tough one so far today for Paxton.
You see the 84 pitches, 27 foul balls. Paxton.
Cano, Cruz, and Seager here in the 4th. Mike, speaking of the state of Oregon, as we were just talking about the band sweepstakes, today with Dan Altavilla, I was over in Fort Worth at the Stockyards, part of a online video series we were doing in partnership with Alaska Airlines. It'll be on various social media channels coming up in weeks and months to come. And we ran into a very nice family who is from the state of Oregon, and they saw the Mariners logos on some of our jackets and shirts. And they asked us first if we were Mariners fans, and we said no, we're with the team. And they got all excited, right? They said, "Is one of you a player?" And then they looked at Dan and they looked at me. As this finds left field, Cano with 2 strikes against him gets aboard for the first time. And I said, yeah, Dan is. And they said, "Oh, the one with the arms." Yep, that's one way you could put it.
Now let me get this straight. There's rain, there's mud, steers, cows, I'm assuming.
All over the place.
And you were there?
Oh, yeah. It was nice. We were inside.
How did that ever happen?
We saw the cattle stroll down.
Dan told me about that. He was impressed that they were in a straight line.
They were very well maintained. And I told him at first that this was like the running of the bulls, and I got a little nervous. Here's Nelson Cruz. I think they're Longhorns here in Texas.
Longhorns, okay, thank you.
And but Dan and I spent a good hour inside of one of the most iconic cowboy boot and saddle manufacturing shops.
He was very impressed on how long it takes to make cowboy boots and the price of a certain pair.
Well, we started off looking at various cowboy boots, and we found I'm being serious here. We found a pair of hippo boots. They were actually very nice, and they were trying to sell us on them for being more weather resistant up in the Northwest.
Gotcha.
A local animal. And those were about $2,600, Mike. So, of course, I egged Dan on to buy a pair, only to find out that then there was a pair of boots we saw for $6,000. To find out that a pair of boots we found for $8,000, $10,000. Mike, we found a pair of boots in a glass lock plate case for over $12,000.
Those are the ones he was talking about. I think he said almost $14,000.
People are taking their boots seriously.
It seemed that Dan had a good time, though.
It was great.
Yeah.
He tried on a pair of ostrich boots, which are very comfortable, he said, but decided that he would pass just for now. This is blasted a mile high. Is this going to stay fair? Is it foul? Oh, it is a foul ball.
We'll take a look at Nelson Cruz. High fastball, belt high. He was leaning, trying to keep it fair. Thought maybe it went right over the top of it. Scott Service is holding things up. He wants him to take a look at it. Take a look. Again, our angle's a little bit off, not quite straight up the line. And that's the best that we have. And I would say from there, give him a home run, Aaron.
I mean, we know that Nelson Cruz has power, Mike, but that is amazing.
We've said that a lot over the last 3 years.
We've been awfully spoiled, and they were spoiled here in Texas for a number of years with Nelson Cruz.
I've said it. He's the best DH in the American League. And fantastic. You know what's great, too? I was thinking about this today with Colon on the mound. Is the Mariners, they have scouting reports against every pitcher that they go up against. And they should have a pretty good one against Colon when you consider that Edgar Martinez actually hit over 350 against Colon in his career.
The numbers are insane.
Edgar retired as a player, what, almost 14 years ago. There's another look at it.
And there's nothing, and we'll call this a foul ball, nothing just straight down the line. It's a foul ball. Yeah, the numbers for Edgar, now we're talking 50 plate appearances here, Mike.
Yeah.
So throw out the small sample size thing.
And again, he retired almost 14 years ago. It's been a while. Cologne's been around a little bit.
You can speak about small sample size against Cologne.
I'm a 333 hitter in my career.
6 at-bats.
2 for 6.
He drove in a couple of runs, too,
and a
right?
double. Oh, boy. Keep that one fair.
A rocket to the pole. This time,
Wow.
it is a fair ball. No replay needed this time. His 100th career smash inside this ballpark in Arlington. He's making Cologne pay this time around. Mariners right back into it, down by just a run.
This is right on the inside corner, and it is a screaming line drive. More right around the knees. Solid 4-iron right into the seats.
I mean, how many empty seat backs have they had to repair during this ballpark's history with Nelson Cruz? And to left, Nunez. To go back, this is the second career start for Bartolo Colon. April the 9th, 97 in the Kingdome with the Indians against the Mariners. Edgar, one of his 10 walks compared to 8 strikeouts in his career against Bartolo Colon, who, Mike, they let throw 61 pitches in 2/3 of an inning.
I was on that team, not in the lineup that night. And the difference for me more than anything is you take a look at the 61 pitches. That's amazing. He was probably throwing 97 to 100 miles an hour. Doesn't have the same fastball, but he can locate it a lot better these days.
By the way, some vitals on that home run, 453 feet. And further, had it not found a seat. Clocked it a left. Nunez again.
I'm looking forward to seeing what the exit velocity was on
All right, I have the exit velocity, Mike. Now, what is the exit velo that moves the Blauer's needle?
I'm trying to think. It seems to me that like off the chart awesome last year for Nelson was somewhere in the neighborhood of 117.
This one I would say was above league average.
I could have told you that.
At 113.
113. Awesome.
Ball go back. Gets aboard with 2 outs. Third hit this inning. Nearly 118 last year.
Yeah.
His highest against the Rangers and Andrew Kastner.
And it was a double. Line drive off the fence. Probably had to be head high all the way out there at 118.
And steps Zunino. Zunino corks this into left. Nunez able to tumble and make the catch. Everything his way in this 4th inning. A man left, but Nelson Cruz with number 4 on the season. Well, don't miss the star-studded weekend series May 4th through the 6th at beautiful Safeco Field. It features Robinson Cano, D. Gordon, and the Mariners taking on Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, and the Angels. Go to mariners.com to pick up your tickets today. Looking forward to getting back home. It'll be for a little while, though. Mariners off to Chicago following tomorrow's game, and then Cleveland for 4. Paxton gets a strike called on the first pitch. Facing Ronald Guzman, who struck out back in the second.
Well, James will have to work hard to try to get through 5 innings. I think one of the things that the starters are going to find out with this Mariner ball club is if you struggle early on but you can hang in there, I think the offense will pick these guys up from time to time. The way that they're able to swing the bats. You may not always have your best outing, but you can minimize the damage. Your offense a chance to maybe get you a win.
Into right field, Haniger having to get over there and play it as it rolls off the base of the fence. Guzman, the rookie, hustling into second base. A leadoff double. Mike, our Columbia Bank difference of the game, we go back to the lengthy at-bat by Jurickson Profar. This turned out to be a 9-pitch at-bat, highlighted by 5 foul balls with 2 strikes.
Yeah, a lot of foul balls. He's using everything that he has. The good fastball inside. You can see Profar late on the fastball. Then eventually it's the slider, so he's mixing it up. A little bit surprised that he didn't bury any of the sliders in the dirt. And that one right there, he ends up hitting. It was actually a pretty good slider. It was at the knees on the inside corner. I think you have to give Profar credit on the swing that he put on that pitch to keep it fair.
Kochi bunts. Bare hand. Seager to first. Cano with the stretch in time. Gives himself up, moves Guzman into third.
We'll take a look at Kyle in the defense. That ball checks up on him. Fine barehanded play. Gets him by about a half a step. We showed that at bat at the start of this inning. For Paxton, they've thrown 84 pitches, 27 foul balls.
It's been a major story tonight for James.
Well, he's throwing strikes. 89 pitches, 60 strikes.
Gamble comes curling in. Can't make the catch. It's a fair ball. Guzman scores. Chu finds second. 2-run lead.
Right off the heel of his glove. I think he was able to get there in plenty of time. I know he was calling it. There it is. Used 2 hands, but it was off the heel. Then unfortunately hits his leg. If this dropped right next to him, I'm not sure the run would have scored. They still would have held him up. He was so close to third. Stottlemyre making another visit out to the mound. They're going to get somebody loose in the bullpen.
Another windy night here in Texas.
It's been breezy. Ben had to run a long way.
That goes down as an RBI double. Counter for left of the second baseman. Well, Mike, you said it might happen. See Chase and Bradford warming up, but at least here in the 4th, we're seeing that low strike being called. Took 3 innings.
Yeah, unfortunately for James, because I thought, especially in the first inning, when he threw all those pitches, there were a number of them there at the bottom of the strike zone. He couldn't get the call on, which hurt him. 32 pitches in the first.
One big bound to Seager. Now number 2.
Right fielder,
And Omar Mazzara has been aboard twice. RBI double, a walk, and a run scored. Pretty surprised by now we knew that Chu had good numbers against Paxton coming into today. 9 at-bats, 4 hits. Look at what Chu has been able to do and what Mazzara has been able to do. 2 left-handed hitters in the top portion of the lineup. And it's not uncommon to see a lefty sit a particular game when Paxton is pitching. Gallo's sitting tonight, but it is his first off day of the year. So if you're Jeff Bannister, this is a convenient time to give,
especially with a day game tomorrow.
Yeah, to give Gallo a little bit of a breather. Oh, 2.
You see lefties have handled him. 333 batting average. He's just 197.
Segura finds it right near second to end the inning. A runner left, a run in. We've played 4. Rangers on top. Anytime you take your eyes off the road, if you're on the road, off the phone, let's reach our target 0 goal together. 0 traffic deaths in your family, 0 traffic deaths in our state. Gamble leads it off here in the 5th. Something to monitor going on in Oakland. Sean Manaea, who the Mariners saw in his last start, he was fantastic at Safeco Field. 7 no-hit innings against the hottest team in baseball, the Boston Red Sox. On the ground, Guzman, the first baseman, to Colon, who's able to get to the bag in time. Back at the top of the lineup as we take a look now for Lowe's whole team together. Look at what this top third has done by when 303 is your low water mark so far in the season. It is awfully impressive what Gordon, Segura, and Cano have been able to put together.
No, it has been, and with all the injuries they had to their lineup, these guys have really carried it for them. Great job. Segura again with the big hit. D. Gordon already a couple of hits here this evening. He was on base 4 times last night, scored a couple of runs. Segura had 3 hits, drove in a couple of runs. Robbie has just been terrific all year long. Nice to have Nelson Cruz back. Lineup getting healthy now. Also Zunino and Gamble in the lineup. Mentioned Ryan Healy.
Colon has been through the order twice now. He has generated 1 swing and miss.
He wants you to put the ball in play. Little pitch to contact.
Right on
This will be
cue.
interesting.
Colon keeps his hamstring intact. He gets Gordon.
And he's laughing about it. And I knew that was going to test him. I don't think he hesitates at all, though. He spins off the mound right away. Yeah, you can see he's already on the move. And barely beats him. Another look at it in our Primera Supermo. High toss to him. Need to make an adjustment. Wow.
That's why we made Supermo. 2 outs, both on the ground. Here is Segura.
Seeing a fly out and a ground out.
Beltre, chest high. For the 3rd time now through 5 innings, Colon has faced the minimum. Your next group outing at Safeco Field, select from one of 7 unique group hospitality spaces and customize your experience with food and beverage packages, private bartenders, and more. You can plan your picnic now by simply going to mariners.com/groups. Hope to see you at the ballpark. Now, rough night for James Paxton. It began in the 1st inning.
Had to throw a lot of pitches, including 32 in the 1st inning. 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned. See the 3 walks, a couple of them scored. 6 hits for the night.
Our Beacon Plumbing call to the pen. Here in the 5th brings on Chasen Bradford.
We're chasing fastball, slider, changeup. His fastball around 91 miles an hour. This will be his 6th appearance. He has pitched well, a 1.17 ERA. It's over 7 2/3. Opponents hitting just 185 against him.
Beltre away for ball 1. You know, Mike, Beltre now 39 years old. Broke into the big leagues as a 19-year-old. He's a free agent at year's end. Right by the line. Long throws Seager. 1 out. Look at the numbers, though. He is approaching some pretty historic home run territory if he can keep it up. He's playing through next year. A guy who I think most would agree, Mike, is well on his way to Cooperstown. You look at how underrepresented the position is at the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
But Beltre, the career number is 463 home runs. We know he has 3,000 hits. Curious to see if he will have a suitor for next year if he wants to continue to play, really more than anything. He'll be 40 years old at that point.
I think if he wants to play, he will definitely be able to play. I think the Rangers would like to have him. So really, I think it really will be up to him.
Barely missing to make it 1-1 to Nunez. Again to Seager. Back a few steps. Another long throw. 2 outs. That brings up Profar. Go back maybe 5 years ago, and all the talk of the Texas Rangers as they had built up this incredible farm system was about this guy, Jurickson Profar. He was the untouchable. John Daniels would refuse to trade Profar. He was the #1 prospect in baseball. But then go on to have to miss consecutive seasons, back-to-back years, because of surgery to his shoulder and complications thereafter. And now is a guy who is trying to find a spot. Began the year in AAA. Even toyed with the idea of having him play some time in the outfield. A utility guy, just to find a spot on the roster for him at the big league level. Now is taking advantage of injuries to both Elvis Andrus and Odor.
Well, you mentioned Beltre. He's been here for a long time. Andrus has been here, it seems, forever. Odor, they've locked him up, so there isn't anywhere for him to play on the infield when they're healthy.
Talk about taking advantage of an opportunity. That was Rougned Odor when Profar originally was hurt. Well, Bradford out of the pen. Barely works up the sweat. A 1-2-3, bottom of the 5th. Franciscan Health, the Mariners' official partner in health. Get your guide to living Northwest healthy at nwhealthy.org/Mariners. Good look at the entrance to Globe Life Park here in Arlington, Texas. 5-3. Rangers have the lead. You know, the days are limited for this ballpark. Not that old. 2021, the new ballpark will be built. Mike, all it costs to build a new ballpark with air conditioning and a retractable roof. Are you ready? $1.1 billion.
Sounds about right.
Will hold 40,000 people.
And when will it open?
Looks like March of 2020. Cano laces the first pitch he sees into right field. Robbie aboard his second hit.
It was Robbie with the base hit in the 4th inning. Then Nelson Cruz hit the home run behind him for Nelson, his 4th home run, but another solid line drive. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Good to see him healthy.
Now Shamanaya now with a no-no through 8 versus Boston. Now I don't think they were booing Cruz, right? They were cruising him.
Cruising him.
And a mammoth home run his last time up, his 4th this year. This is smoke to left. Multi-hit night for Nelson Cruz. Mariners suddenly have 2 men aboard. Go-ahead run coming to the plate, and Kyle Seager.
For Colon, we mentioned he throws a lot of fastballs. This is a fastball, 87 miles an hour. He's throwing a lot of strikes. So the Mariners being more aggressive.
Missing for ball 1 to Seager. Activity inside the bullpen. Matt Bush getting loose.
He'll be in the mid-90s with his fastball. See the first 2 pitches there, trying to pitch Kyle away. Beltre, the only one on the left side of the infield. Pretty good hole on the left side. If you can hit a ground ball that way, maybe pick up a base hit and an RBI. Away again.
Cologne's 2-1. Seager strokes to center. Tochi right in front of the track. Cano legs into third base. 1 out. Runners on the corners. How about our look now at Mitch Haniger? Runners on the corners for Haniger. Now, if you want to look at Haniger relative to his peers in right field, American League and National League, only Bryce Harper, the only right fielder who has driven in more runs this season than Mitch Haniger. RBI chance here. If you want to rank right fielders of the majors by OPS, Mitch is in 5th place. He is just off to a fantastic start. One thing that Scott Servais praises time and time again about Haniger is his preparation, and his preparation being beyond his years. You look at his career in the big leagues, Mike, he has not even played a full season, a full 162, dating back to his time when he broke in with the Diamondbacks.
Well, he carries himself like he belongs here. When he's healthy, he's certainly played that way. And a few breaking balls we've seen from Colon. A slow curveball at 81 miles an hour.
And a rare swing and a miss tonight against Cologne. Cologne's 1-2, way off the plate. Now the 2-2. Weak ground ball, foul to third. Cano back to third base, Cruz to first. Back-to-back singles begin this inning. Vogelbach on deck. He's singled tonight. Haniger, a lift out to right field. Mazzara getting ready. Cano busting down the line. Robbie to the plate, slides across, and the Mariners are within a run.
And a good at bat for Mitch. Talked about Cologne throwing a lot of fastballs tonight. He switched up a number of off-speed pitches to Mitch. Able to get enough of a breaking ball. You take a look at it. Set up on the outside corner, a little breaking ball, and he just stays with it. Pick up another RBI, his 18th.
Two outs for Daniel Vogelbach. Cruz still at first. They have the shift on for Vogelbach, who looks at ball one.
Again, it was Daniel last night in the ninth inning leading off with a base hit down into the right field corner to get the scoring started for the Mariners. Good count for him. Didn't have to be.
That is a tough strike one call.
Yeah, it is.
Seen a lot of those over the last few days, even before coming to Texas. And a 3-1 to Vogelbach. He's the go-ahead run. Couple of men on base, 2 outs. First walk tonight for Cologne.
Well, looks like that'll be it for him.
Jeff Bannister going to his bullpen. Two outs and 2 on. Mariners threatening here in the 6th inning. Here in the top of the sixth, 5-4 Texas on top. On Sunday, May 6th, when the Mariners host the Angels at 1:10, all kids 14 and under will receive an LED boom time watch featuring Silver Slugger Nelson Cruz, courtesy of Aquafina. You'll always know the time with a flick of your boomstick wrist. Just head on over to Mariners.com for tickets. Bartolo Colon cruising early, pulled here in the sixth.
5 2/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. Just the one walk, couple of strikeouts, 78 pitches for him, 53 of those for strikes.
To the bullpen, and Matt Bush.
Fastball, curveball, slider. His average fastball this year, 97 miles an hour. 9 appearances, 10 strikeouts, but 6 walks. He can get wild at times in 9 2/3. Opponents hitting 176 against him.
And steps Zunino.
He might go for one. He was hit on the wrist his first time up. Second time up, hit a line drive into left field. Was robbed of a base hit. Again, just his second game back.
See the velocity from Bush. This was a guy that Jeff Bannister had auditioning in spring training as a possible member of the rotation. That did not work out. Back to his familiar home of the bullpen. Zunino ahead 2-1. Steady dose of heat.
Right at his average, 97 on the inside corner.
And the Mariners' threat comes to a close in the top of the sixth, but a run does score on Haniger's sac fly out to right field to bring the Mariners within a run. And Bartolo Colon making his first home start with the Rangers done for the ninth. Without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Mariners fans in the house tonight, brave in the rain. An hour and 25-minute delay before this one got underway. Catcher Robinson Chirinos looking at strike one.
The good news, the Mariners down in this game early, but they keep fighting their way back into it.
Just a foul ball. Bradford ahead 1-2. Just over Seager's glove. Into the corner. Chirinos a stand-up double to lead off the bottom of the sixth.
And it's on a fastball, 89 miles an hour. You see Mike sit up on the inside corner, a bit more middle, and it's enough of the barrel to it to line it past Kyle. An easy double once he gets down into the corner.
And steps Guzman, the rookie first baseman. Vogelback, a low backhand. On number one as Chirinos tiptoes into third.
Center fielder Carlos Tocci.
Brings up Carlos Tocci, the center fielder, batting ninth.
The situation, Mariners will bring their infield in. They also have to be aware of the bunt. Tocci hasn't hit much. I like him defensively. Had a sacrifice bunt back in the fourth.
That gets him.
He really did not want to do that. That was a mistake.
Well, for our Coors Light refreshing finish, we take you to the Oakland Coliseum, where the first no-hitter of 2018 is officially in the books. Sean Manaea, the Mariners just saw him. Ten strikeouts for Manaea. Well, he's right about that. The Red Sox absolutely rolling. The last team you would expect to get no hit. 108 pitches for Manaea.
Well, we saw Manaea in the big leagues and saw him quite a bit, and always struggled with his command.
How about this catch? Segura staying with it. Now number two.
He hit off the heel of his glove. Well positioned. They hit it right at him. Chu with the line drive. See where he's standing right there. Able to stay with it. Another look. Now that was in his glove, maybe off the heel. Good concentration though. But Manaea, his command just wasn't there. And he's figured it out. He's off to a great start.
Well, how about this? For the A's, their first no-hitter since Dallas Braden's Mother's Day no-hitter back in 2010. 25 years ago to the day, the Red Sox, Mike, were no-hit by
Chris Bosio and the Seattle Mariners.
Mike, you had a good day that day.
Yeah.
I'm sure you made some great plays defensively behind Bosio. I think 2-4 drove in a run.
Yeah, made a couple of plays in that game. It was a lot of fun. It was great. Watch Boss. Everybody remembers the last play of that game, of course, with Omar running across the middle of the diamond on a chopper over the mound, bounced off the turf, and Omar barehands it to throw the last hitter out for Boston to get the no-hitter.
Now remind us, was the bare hand by Omar necessary or just the cooler thing to do?
It was just Omar. Was it necessary? No, but nobody played with more confidence in the field than Omar Vizquel.
2 outs, runners on the corners. Counter for left of the batter. Zunino keeping a watchful eye over Tochi at first base, who's hit by the pitch. Now 3-1. Through the empty hole on the right side, Chirinos scores easily. Tochi into third. Tanner Falefa aboard for the 3rd time in this game, and the Rangers extend their lead.
He's already scored twice, and now he picks up his first RBI in the ball game. There you go, wide open hole on the right side, pitch right on the outside corner, and he goes with it. Tochi makes it into 3rd. He runs well, no problem. Going first to 3rd on that base hit.
First pitch to Mazzara. James Pazos beginning to loosen up for the Mariners. Mazzara calls time. Counter for Falefa taken into second base. No throw Zunino.
That decision was made before he ever ran down to second base. You could see that none of the infielders, either Segura, to go cover the bag. Then he wanted to stay in their defensive positions and not give up another base hit.
His first career steal. Out of play. Counter for Falefa at second, Tochi at third. He was hit by the pitch. 2 outs, 2 on. Now the 1-2. Bradford gets Mazzara swinging right through it to end the inning. A run in for the Rangers. They extend the lead through 6. We start at the top of the 7th here in Arlington. Rangers leading 6-4. Enjoy more Mariners baseball for less. New this year are 25 VECU value games on select Sundays, weeknights, and holidays. Save big with select bleacher and view seats for only $15 or main and club seats for $30. Visit mariners.com/value. Mariners will see a new pitcher as we start at the top of the 7th. Now it's Claudio takes over. We saw Claudio last night.
11 appearances on the year, 4.5 ERA. 10 innings. He has 5 strikeouts. Hasn't walked a batter, but a high batting average against at .341. His average fastball, 85 miles an hour. His best pitch is a changeup. We'll mix in a slider with it. Side armor. Guillermo Heredia going to pinch hit. He will hit for Gamble.
That fastball among the slowest in the game.
There's the changeup, 70 miles an hour. Aaron, you mentioned his fastball, one of the slowest in the game. If I said Aaron Goldsmith, here's his fastball, one of the slowest in the game, I feel that you would wear that as a badge of honor, a sense of pride about that.
Well, you know, we've talked to Jerry about this before. In baseball, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. Deep backhand profar. Heredia in first base easily. A little bit of a wild throw helps things. Right, you never want to be in the middle, right, Mike?
That's right. It'll be an infield hit, but I just feel that you would feel good about that. I think you would be a side armor like Claudio too.
Well, that's the only way I'd stick around. Let's face it.
Look at us back to the top of the order. D. Gordon, he is had a good night so far. He's 2 for 3 as an RBI. A good start for the Mariners. Yeah, the Mariners scoring late in last night's ball game. Get a win.
You think D's hearing about it in the dugout? That Cologne beat him to first base? Now, to be fair, D has a longer distance to run. I think
as far.
I think we all know who's faster. There's that changeup.
Yep.
Like, one thing I'll be interested to see as the weeks go along now that Ben Gamble is back and getting his legs underneath him in now big league games. Now, last year we saw Ben really hit lefties very well, and that was really a calling card of his, and it was surprising to everybody given his lack of experience at the major league level. We see him being pinch hit for here, facing really a tough lefty in Claudio, but we saw it even the other night against the left-handed starting pitcher. Heredia was in there. Be interested to see if that becomes truly a platoon situation, if it's just something right now as Gamble's kind of bridging his way back.
I think that it's a situation that has nothing to do with Ben's ability to hit left-handed. There's more of the value that they put on Heredia and his ability to hit lefties and play defense too. And you have to find him at bats along the way. So I think it's probably that. And look at D. This is great. That's an easy double for him.
Heredia tearing to third base. D cruises to second. Now the Mariners with a couple in scoring position. Nobody out.
His third hit of the night. Look, another changeup. I think it was 68 miles an hour. He just lobs it out into right field. Well placed. But a nice job staying with it. So does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, you got to find spots for Heredia. And steps Segura with 2 in scoring position. Here's the go-ahead run.
Infield back for Texas.
I think it must become difficult, though, if you're Scott, if Gamble gets to a point this year like we saw last year, right, where he
I think it's that hot.
Right.
I mean, at one point he was hitting 350 and leading the American League in hitting. Then
Yes.
okay, you have to roll with that. But I think you know, normal every day. Why not have them both hitting 300 for you, lefty righty?
What we saw last summer from Gamble was pretty extreme. Line left field, base hit. Heredia in, Gordon is in. And once again, it is Gene Segura coming up with one big-time hit after another here in Arlington. He has tied this game in the 7th.
That'll bring a lot of energy to the dugout. 3 quick hits here in the inning. And we'll take another. This is not a bad pitch. This is down out of the strike zone, but like so many of the hitters for the Mariners, they're quality hitters. Their head stays on the baseball, able to keep it fair. Mariners now 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position. And it's the top of the order, hot again, but it started with Heredia off the bench picking up a base hit.
Robbie a chance to give the Mariners the lead. Nobody out.
Robbie 2 for 3 and has scored 2 runs.
He wastes no time. A high lift to the corner. Right by the wall. Gone, number 2 this season. Robbie Cano has given the Mariners the lead on the very first pitch.
He is locked in. We were talking about it last night. Here it is again. This is on a breaking ball. His 3rd hit. D. Gordon has 3 hits. Top of the order. Showed you the numbers earlier. They are making it happen, including that right there. Go ahead, 2-run home run by Cano on a pretty tough left-hander. We'll take another look at it in our Primera Supermo, and the spinning slider just leaves it right in the middle of the plate. Towering fly ball out to right. He goes right over the 349 mark. Darren mentioned his 2nd home run on the year. I wasn't sure he had enough of it. Mariners have the lead.
Claudio against lefties this year, 1 for 15 against him. D. Gordon a base hit, Cano a homer. time about Robbie's smile, but who wouldn't be smiling if you're doing what he's doing?
Having fun with Manny Acta? You're right. With that home run, his average is now at 338. Maybe he's letting everybody know about it. There's nothing better than being in a dugout with a club that can score some runs, and the majority of the guys in the lineup on a nightly basis are picking up their own hits. It's a lot of fun. You see it right there.
We saw Chris Martin last night. We see him again here tonight in the 7th.
Fastball, cutter, slider. His average fastball 94 miles an hour. What are you saying? Aaron, 6'7"? He's tall.
I think it's 6'8" he's listed at.
Yeah.
Don't cheat him. Here's Nelly.
Nelly, a couple of hits tonight, including a home run. His 4th home run on the year for Nelson Cruz. 11 appearances for him, a 2.89 ERA, 9 in the 3rd, 10 strikeouts, only 1 walk. In fastball, cutter, slider, and he throws hard.
Profar can't get there.
His 3rd hit.
Our CenturyLink What's Next tomorrow. Some day baseball on getaway day here from Arlington, Texas. We are expecting to see Erasmo Ramirez making his season debut. Meanwhile, Martin Perez, who got off to a late start because of a kind of freak injury on his cattle ranch in Venezuela, falling off a fence after not making this up, a charging bull. Perez making his 4th start. He has been knocked all over the place so far this year. You can see the opposing average over 450. Nobody out. Mariners the lead. A man aboard for Seager. With the shift on for Profar. The double play.
Looks like Kyle slipped trying to get out of the box. Take a look at Kyle. Yeah, he steps right on home plate.
That brings up Haniger.
Mitch with an RBI. The sacrifice fly has 18 RBIs on the year.
This is something, Mike, I know we've talked about over the years, but that feeling in the dugout when the big bats are locked in and red hot, like we've seen from all of them.
Yeah, pick them.
Yeah,
it's up and down the lineup. We thought that the depth of the lineup would be important, but the most important thing are the guys that you expect to do what they typically do. As Mitch gives this a ride out to left. Wow.
How about back-to-back nights? Mitch Haniger gone. Number 6 on the season for the Mariners right fielder. He just continues to hit night after night. And the Mariners playing add-on in the 7th.
As I was saying, Aaron, it is up and down the lineup. And we'll take a look at it. Trying to get in on his hands. Short swing, on time. That pitch was right on the inside corner. Daniel Vogelback, 1 for 2. Also has walked in the ball game.
406 feet for Haniger. Cedarstrom wearing that last one a little bit. So Cruz, Cano, and Haniger all going yard in this one tonight. Mariners now by 3. Very close, ball 3. Welcome back aboard a couple of times tonight. A single and a walk. Looked like this would be a long night against Cologne. He faced the minimum through the first 2 innings. Barely threw 20 pitches to get the first 6 outs. Mariners have been taking apart this Rangers bullpen the last couple of nights. And now Vogelback walked for the second time.
It was a switch of game plan. You could see it. It was really obvious when you mentioned it. That was back in the 4th inning. And it was a leadoff base hit. It was either the first or second pitch to Cano. Nelly comes up there, hits the ball out of the ballpark over the foul pole that was just foul early. And the very next pitch he hits into the seat. So they just could see that he was going to throw strikes. He was around the plate. And they just ended up getting really aggressive on his fastball. And for them, they ended up getting some fastballs in the middle of the plate that right now, for the most part here early in the season, they haven't missed.
And Jeromine off the bench, second straight night to run for Vogelback.
And no surprise that it's the veterans that are the ones making the adjustment in game. Another good night for Daniel. On base 3 times, a couple of walks and a base hit.
A 3-homer night for the Mariners. They appeal down to first base, but Zunino holds back 1-1.
Next up, this is Mike's second game. And then pick up his first base hit, get him going in the right direction, and then it won't be too much longer, hopefully, that we see Ryan Healy.
Beltre way behind the bag at third. Long distance throw. And the scoop by Guzman at first base. It's a 9-batter inning for the Mariners as they tee off some home run derby. How about Cano? His second of the season. Giving the Mariners the lead, and then Mitch Haniger. It's nice to play a little add-on here in Texas. Connecting you to the power of the digital world. By Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. By Jack in the Box, try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. And by BNSF, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. Let's go back and check in with Brad. Thank you, gentlemen. Dan Altavilla up on the mound to work for the Mariners. Facing Adrian Beltre.
He's going to get the middle of the lineup for Dan. His fastball 95 to 98 miles an hour with a hard slider.
Finds the hole on the right side. Leadoff single by Beltre.
Bring a slider out over the plate.
Scott talked after Dan's last outing, Mike, where we've seen a couple of times now for Dan some control problems relative to how rock solid he was at the very beginning of the season. Said that they've addressed that in a couple of side sessions. A little quick front side flying open, they think. A little video work has helped. I feel like they've addressed the issue.
That's something that he's talked about a number of times, meaning Dan, that front side flying open on him. And I think when you look at it, a couple of times that he's had some struggles, it's not only his fastball command, but then his slider ends up more in the middle of the plate. When he's able to use that slider off the plate, especially to the right-handers down, you can get him to chase it. Because he has such a good fastball at 97, and that was perfect right on the outside corner.
Oh, 1 to Nunez.
Another good fastball. Looks pretty good. But we've talked about it with Diaz too, and Diaz, outside of maybe a batter or two, has not had any issues at all as far as that. Kind of losing it a little bit, the front side flying open.
As simple as just slowing down a little bit.
Well, it's a more mechanical thing, I think, for them. Obviously, with Dan, he's a max effort guy. You can see that. 98 on that fastball. So I think that's the reason why sometimes you'll see him throw a slider a little bit more, and especially now that Mike is here working with him too, just to try to get him mechanically back in line to slow him down so that his arm has a chance to catch up. That was really good.
One out to Haniger.
That was much better for Dan. And you take a look at how he's right in line. He's straight in line. And everything is on time right there. And that's the reason why that slider right there, a weak pop up, was on the outside corner and right at the knees.
One out, one on. Here's Profar. 2-run double back in the third. That gave the Rangers at the time a 4-1 lead.
I think Dan will eventually work his way into consistently being in the back end of the bullpen. He's a guy that'll set up, maybe one day even close. Another good fastball in on his hands. 96 just ties him up. But they're still, both of them are obviously extremely talented, but they're young. They're young players. And
he and Diaz are saying.
And he and Diaz, yes, thank you. And I think your ability to slow things down, you're talking about the mechanics of it, sometimes may be a little bit easier when they're starting, which is what they were doing at AA a few years ago, because you know you're having to go out and throw 90 to 100 pitches. But right now, when these guys come in the game, it's a one inning, just cut it loose. And probably, you know, you're pretty amped up too. You have to learn to handle all of that.
Now, Dan's a Pennsylvania guy. Grew up just outside of Pittsburgh. If you were to guess what fall sport Dan played 4 years in high school, I would guess football.
I would.
Golf.
Golf.
He was a 4-year letter winner in golf, which was apparently a fall sport. He was a golfer, a basketball player, a point guard in high school, and then, of course, baseball. Beltre into second.
And the slider will be a wild pitch. Slider gets past Mike. Doesn't happen often. What about lacrosse?
I don't want no part of him playing lacrosse.
Exactly.
1-2 is fought off. Slicing foul. We'll be going to Chicago next. That was the site of Dan Altavilla's big league debut, when Dan came out of the bullpen throwing about 105.
Really?
Seriously.
He did. He hit 100, 101 a number of times.
There was an ounce or two of adrenaline that night for Dan Altavilla. Road trip will finish up with 4 games in Cleveland. Mariners will be done playing the Indians before the month of April is over. Just foul by third.
I'm not sure what the major league record for foul balls in a game. but Profar's got to be right there.
Man, you're not kidding.
He was wearing James Paxton out with a number of foul balls. It was 9 pitches in 1 at bat, and he's doing it again right here. Of course, hitting right-handed switch hitter, hitting right-handed against James, and now with Dan out there just fighting pitches off.
Another 2-2. And his center. Gordon's had a pretty quiet night defensively. 2 outs. Beltre holding at second.
The catcher, Robinson Chirinos.
Chirinos looks at ball 1. Right there at the top of the zone. Now, there are not many times where when your starter goes just 4 innings and gives up 5 runs, and you find yourself in position to possibly win a ball game, but this offense for the Mariners has helped them out immensely.
Yeah, we were talking about it at the time, and for all the starters, you're not always going to go out there with your best stuff, and you're going to have games where you struggle, but if you can find a way to get through 5-6 innings and give the offense a chance, these guys will typically score runs. And I think that'll be something that'll happen throughout the year. Give you a chance to pick up a couple of extra wins, and maybe even on a night when you're not feeling great, things aren't going well for you.
Altavilla behind 3-0 to Chirinos. Of course, Ryan Healy had a fantastic night last night to begin his rehab assignment with AA Arkansas. The Travelers rained out tonight at home.
Mark Zepchinski getting loose in the pen.
Couple of men aboard. turning out to be a little bit of a longer inning than Altavilla would like. 2 outs, 2 on. Download the app, play for free, and start your streak for a chance at $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak, presented by Major League Baseball today. Mel Stottlemyre Jr. out for a visit alongside Zunino. Tying run at the plate, Ronald Guzman. Only 21 big league at bats entering tonight.
Now all of a sudden, all the fastballs are up in the strike zone, or up out of the strike zone.
D. Gordon inside that glove with his outfield positioning card, letting him know where to line up.
Yep.
Many of you at home probably have seen the outfielders looking at those, keeping them in their back pockets.
All the changes that they've made to defenses now, that's not uncommon. A lot of the outfielders will have a card.
It's a strike over that time at 96, 2-1.
Also helps the coaches from having to get on the top step and try to get their attention, waving their arms around and trying to move them around.
Altavilla a strike away from sending this to the 8th. The 2-2. Barely gets a piece of a slider.
Right, and having to throw a lot of pitches. Next one will be 25th. Pretty good slider right there at the bottom of the strike zone now.
Zaczynski continuing to warm up.
I think he's getting loose just in case Gallo pinch hits.
.99 that time from Altavilla. A win tonight for the Mariners would mean a series win, a chance for a sweep tomorrow. Two on, 2 out.
They don't have to make a pitch here. The runner's going to take off with the pitch.
Beltre at second, Chirinos at first. Altavilla's 3-2. Mile high, but foul. You saw Jepson last night, first-year Ranger. Next pitch, number 28 for Altavilla this inning. Is 3-2. Segura, shallow left to end the inning. We go to the 8th. Mariners by 3. Very busy in-game box score for the Mariners.
How about the top of the lineup again? Mitch Haniger, of course, with the home run. He has a couple of RBIs. But everybody else hot. Nelson Cruz with a home run. Robinson Cano stays hot.
You know, Mike, I obviously love reverse splits.
You do. You're a big fan.
There's something more StatCast related, very basic form of StatCast that I might like even more than reverse splits, Mike, and that is home runs under 100 miles an hour off the bat. These slow-mo home runs.
Well, you're not talking about Nelson because that was 113.
Jose Leclerc to face Heredia. Leclerc just called up today from AAA Round Rock. I think that's the joy of the first two home runs we saw hit tonight by the Mariners, because you have the polar opposites, right? You have the 113 mile an hour, 453 foot blast by Cruz. And then something we do not see very often from Cano is this is laced foul. Cano's second home run this year, Mike. A comfortable 97 miles an hour, just over the wall in right field. I don't know how
I like
many
the way you said comfortable. A comfortable 97. I think that's about right. It was a towering fly ball. He hit it so high. That's the reason why.
I don't know how many of those Cano's had over the course of his career.
Comfortable home runs?
Right. The 97 variety.
Quite a few, I'm sure.
I mean in terms of the slow-mo home runs.
Yeah, I'm sure quite a few. Consider time that he spent playing at Yankee Stadium, short porch and right.
Foul back. I see where you're going.
Thank you. Try to keep up. I know it's getting late.
It is very late here. It's a quarter after 11.
Yeah. Day game tomorrow, you know.
A little later first pitch tomorrow, 2 o'clock local time.
Okay.
I know you're big into the sleep cycle. And did I see Dr. Lorena Martin handing out something to the back of the plane for the long flight here? What was that?
It was, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It was, yes, she did. It was something that you would put on your cap. Basically, you tape it to your cap, and it would get impulses to your legs so that through the flight, when you woke up the next morning, the jet lag that you normally feel, that it wouldn't be there.
I see.
So that they were trying that on the way here to Texas.
About a 3.5 hour flight.
And if it works, why not use it, especially for this ball club with the amount of miles that they will have by the end of the year.
Skied foul by Heredia, still 2-2.
You were offered one, but you didn't take it because you're too busy with that second dessert.
No,
yeah.
I didn't take it because she said, "We've got one left." And Blauer said, "I'll take it."
And I mentioned we fly a lot.
But you're right, the second dessert did preoccupy me slightly. On the infield to Profar. One down. Make your voice heard. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag RootFanFave. Watch the Mariners pregame show every Sunday to find out your favorite plays of the week. Plus, each month, one lucky fan will win a Coors Light Yeti cooler just for participating. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. One out top of the 8th for D. Gordon, looking for his 4th hit tonight. An appeal, he does not go. Out to center. Kochi is there for out number 2. Oh, once this one's over with, be sure to stick around after the game for Mariners post-game presented by Alaska Airlines. Tonight, game 2 of this 3-game series against the Rangers. First time these two teams meeting this year. Angels are the only team in the division the Mariners are yet to see. Be catching them in the early days of May back home. Something Scott was talking about today, Mike, and I think it's easy to blow some things like this out of proportion, but there probably is some truth to it. Interested in your perspective on it. You know, Mariners obviously had such a hard time scoring runs against the Astros and against Manaea, who throws a no-hitter tonight. Last night you get the 5 runs. They come bunched up late. Kind of what that can do to propel a team. We see tonight another 5 runs. A little momentum maybe starting to form.
Well, I think the first thing you have to look at is the quality of this lineup. This is a very good lineup. It's something that they're going to lean on all year. So I think for them, they're going to score a lot of runs this year. Unfortunately, they ran into a hot pitching staff and some guys that have been around for a while, know what they're doing. And look, it was rough. You mentioned Manaea. He's figured things out. He was different than what they're used to seeing, and they'll make an adjustment the next time they see him. So I think that's first and foremost. But I think there was a little bit of a hangover. It took them a while to get going, but once that started for them and gaining that momentum you're talking about, which I think it was Mitch Haniger with the home run to dead center last night to tie the game. I think that took a lot of pressure off of them, and then everything just kind of opens up from there. But this is a very good lineup.
2-2 on Gene.
And I think most of the time, if they are shut down, it's a special pitcher that is on top of his game.
Strike 3 called. Top of the zone. And that ends the top of the 8th. We go to the home half. The Mariners have the lead. Get exclusive player interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and Mariner stories you can't find anywhere else. If you missed Sunday's episode, tune in for re-airs throughout the week on Root Sports. For your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com. First pitch strike to Tochi. Altavilla worked the 7th, back out to work the 8th.
And Mark Zepchinski getting loose again. Was up last inning. He should be ready to go.
Sears him off at 98 upstairs. 1 out.
See, Mike wants the high fastball. It's above the letters. No chance to catch up to 98 when it's above the letters. And Scott Servais going to make a pitching change.
One out, base is empty. A step aside, Mariners lead 9-6. By Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. By Jack in the Box, try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. And by BNSF, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. Mariners leading 9-6, one out, nobody on, bottom of the 8th inning. Leadoff man Shin-Soo Choo due up to face new pitcher Mark Dubchinski.
For Mark, a sinking fastball at 92 miles an hour. Has a slider to go with it. This will be his 8th appearance on the year. So far, just 3 1/3, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Choo having himself a nice night. To Cano, flattens out. 2 outs. You know, Mike, earlier today, a number of us went out to lunch in Fort Worth, and we went to Gus's world famous fried chicken. And we both love Nathan Rauschenberg. Rauschenberg is,
of course.
I think he runs social media for the Mariners. He's in town. And I don't think there's anybody who does that job better in baseball than Nathan Rauschenberg. He's a great friend, a tremendous guy. I'm going to cut him up into a million pieces right now, Mike.
That's what you do. Go ahead.
We all know that I love iced tea more than anybody. And in Texas, this is where you get it, extra ice, a little bit of lemon. Now, Rauschenberg apparently likes iced tea as well. When we were sitting down at Gus's, Nathan saw on the menu placard at our table something that said gallon bucket of iced tea. And we thought, well, this is right in the wheelhouse, right?
Yep, has to be.
And so the waiter came over, asked if we'd like something to drink, and Nathan said, can you tell us a little bit more about this gallon bucket of iced tea? And the waiter said, well, son, it's a gallon bucket of iced tea. We'll take one. Extra ice.
Did he really answer it just like that?
I'd say that is exactly what he said. Like word for word. Accent not as good as mine, obviously. Like I said.
Did Nathan recover?
I told Nathan, I said, listen, pal, I love you, but Mariners have a 3-run lead in the 8th inning. I'm bringing this up. 2-out walk here to Canafalefa, who has been living on base. 4th time he's reached. Here's Mazzara. Starts him off with strike one.
I will say this on Nathan's behalf, though. I'm positive about this. I'm sure about this. That he has never sent his IT back like you did. I'm sure that has never happened.
Mike, that was years ago. A changed man.
I will never forget it.
Mike, it was dreadful.
I don't know if it wasn't fresh brewed, the right lemon, ice. I don't know what you had going on. It was embarrassing, though. I'm not sure that we've dined since.
That's Mike. If those lemons are not fair trade organic.
Okay.
You know the drill.
Looks like Edwin Diaz getting ready in the bullpen. Pretty good slider. Well located slider. Barely gets a piece of it.
There's Diaz.
We have Adrian Beltre, cleanup hitter, waiting on deck. Edwin pinched last night. It was not a save opportunity for him. Had a couple of strikeouts.
Off the hand, Segura in the shift to Cano into right field. Counter for left at a third.
Good pitch by Mark. Ends up jamming him after a number of sliders. Segura in pretty good shape. He's right there. Can't make the play. And Scott Service out of the dugout quickly. Going to make a pitching change and bring in Diaz.
Four-out save coming up. We'll step aside.
And for Edwin, he has been terrific this year. This will be his 10th appearance. 18 strikeouts in 9 innings. Opponents hitting 034 against him. His fastball will be 95 to 100 with a hard slider. Slider typically 90-91. Pretty good hitter. Going to have to deal with though. Adrian Beltre, cleanup hitter for Texas.
Counter for Leffa. The walk now at third. Mazar the single at first.
Slider.
Up 0-2.
Quickly ahead. Slider. Back with a fastball at 96. he has options. He can throw the fastball higher at 97, 98, slider off the plate away.
Zunino keeps it nearby.
Joey Gallo has come out on deck. He will pinch hit.
Zunino trying to find it. Connor Falefa staying put at third. Mazzara into second. 90-mile-an-hour slider.
Pretty good play by Mike. This is not an easy thing when that slider is 90, 91 miles an hour and it's out in front of home plate in the other batter's box.
The 2-2.
Good pitch.
Boy. Yes, it was. Can't ask for much better than that. The 3-2. Gordon over to the gap. He wants it. He gets it. Diaz gets the Mariners out of the 8th. A couple of men are left stranded. We go to the 9th. Mike Edwin Diaz facing the most feared hitter in this lineup. Adrian Beltre gets him to fly out with 2 on.
Yeah, able to jam him with a pretty good fastball. Routine fly ball to center field.
9-6 Mariners. 13 hits. There's Robbie. What a night for Cano, looking for his 4th hit. And in the 7th, it was Segura to tie it up with the 2-run double. The next batter, very first pitch, Cano, the 2-run homer just over the wall in right field.
See Robbie with 3 hits.
Cruz on deck, then Seager. 2-1 to Cano. Hangs up in right field. Connor Falefa there, the second baseman for out number 1.
Designated hitter Nelson Cruz.
Here comes Nelson Cruz. He's got 3 hits on the night, including a 453-foot homer. His 4th this year. Strike 1 on Nelly. We know how charitable Nelson Cruz is.
Yeah.
And how he has worked with the fire departments in Seattle to help send gear back to his hometown of the Dominican Republic. All that work began during his time here in Arlington with the Rangers. In fact, it was when Nelson, before he was really Nelson Cruz, right? He was just kind of getting his big league career started, beginning to make some money, wanted to help the people back in his hometown, and started to look into how much a fire truck would cost. When he found out they cost $100,000, and he started to work with some of the local fire stations here to find some used equipment. Able to get a lot of that back to his hometown, ambulances as well. Thanks to that off-speed pitch for round number 2. For the stories that we hear Nelson talk about, people back in his hometown who approach him when he's back home during the offseason and say, the ambulance that you gave helped save my mother's life. I mean, it is so powerful and so bigger than anything that we see or watch any night during the baseball season.
We talk about him, the best DH, and how special he is, and it really is across the board with everything. I think for Mariner fans, it could not have gone better when they signed Nelson Cruz. And that includes a lot of those things that you're talking about, and things that we don't even know about that
Sure.
he does, that he takes care of.
I'm sure you're right. Two outs for Seager. I mean, if there's a beloved guy, a more beloved guy in a clubhouse in baseball than Nelson Cruz, I'd like to know who that is, because no matter which team you talk to that he's played for, to a man,
Yeah.
they all rave about Nelly.
Well, it's not very often that you can be an opposing player, and we heard it here tonight when they're chanting Cruz.
That's right.
Out of respect for him.
After he blows up a seat on a home run. Side set down in order. Diaz coming out to complete a 4-out save. field advantage on Silver Bullet Saturdays. Download the Coors Light XP Rewards app. Start earning points towards rewards like Mariners tickets and Coors Light gear while supplies last. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. It's getting late here in Texas. A quarter till midnight as Edwin Diaz is on to complete a 4-out save, working with a 3-run lead. Drew Robinson off the bench to pinch hit. We saw him start in center field last night. The 2-1 evens it up. Now Diaz last year 5 times a save of more than 3 outs. Looking for his first one of 2018. The 3-2. Leadoff walk.
I think Scott would like to see him finish things quickly. He pitched last night, pitching here late tonight. Coming back with the day game tomorrow.
First pitch to Profar. Slider for a strike. Well, the Mariners are 3 outs away from a series win. Oh, 0-2 now. Profar has seen his fair share of pitches. That is the 12th pitch that he has fouled off. The 0-2. Has tripled up on the slider.
Manfred Diaz not throwing as many strikes as you'd like to see. 15 pitches, 7 strikes for him.
And to left for a base hit. Robinson into third base with a slide. Runners on the corners.
The catcher, Robinson.
99-mile-an-hour fastball, inside-out swing.
The second hit allowed this year by Diaz. Strike 1 to Chirinos. Oh, and 2.
Back-to-back sliders.
Good stop by Mike.
.91 miles an hour, another slider. It just spikes it right off the heel of Mike's glove. fastball yet. It's topped out at 99.
Robinson at third, Profar at first.
There's a fastball.
Torino's the tying run. Nobody out. Bottom of the ninth inning. Out number one.
I'm not sure if he meant to throw that fastball up and in, but that opened up the outer half of the plate. Have to stay on a slider like that last pitch off the outside corner. You just had 98 under your chin.
The rookie Guzman.
Again, Gallo back out on deck. He will hit for Tochi.
0-1. First pitch heater.
See if that one get a double play ball.
Oh, and 2. On your fastballs to Guzman. Diaz trying to complete a 4-out save. Speaking of a double play, nope, Cano to first. Just in time. Texas may take a look at this. Robinson has crossed. A very rare bobble by Robbie.
Not sure if the ball came up on him, maybe hit his bare hand. Take a look at it. That is close. Again, it's when it hits the back of his glove. Can't tell when his foot hits the bag. There's another look. If it hits the back of his glove. The good news, he was originally called out, but that is as close as it gets. And another look at it.
Call stands. That was close.
Good recovery by Robbie to at least get the out. There's another look at it. See Romine stretching out there as far as he can, and even with our Primera Supermo, it's hard to tell.
You want to talk about power versus power. Gallo off the bench.
Fastball above the belt. And you're right, a lot of power in his swing, and the ball down in the zone is one that he can really handle. Has the count in his favor.
We don't see the full Gallo shift like we saw last night with the bases empty. Seager has to stay put on the left side. 2-1. Gallo the tie and run. Now 2-2 after that slider. The 2-2.
Mike tried to help him out, framing that last pitch, but just a little too far off the outside corner.
Two on deck. Gallo a walk. Second walk this inning. He has had walk 3 all year.
And Chu has had a good night. Couple of hits, both of them doubles. Scored a run, driven in a run.
He is now facing the winning run. Ball 1. Here comes Mike.
Always left-handed hitters. He's missing wide of the plate. Trying to be careful. Last pitch, another off-speed pitch at 89 miles an hour. Like Scott Service wondering if they had a visit left.
Missing fastball this time. You can see the damage done tonight by Chu. Couple of doubles and RBI.
The Mariners have one more visit left if they want to use it. Now Diaz, 34 pitches. He has thrown a lot of pitches.
By far a season high.
I love the green light.
4-pitch walk, everything wide.
We have a young hitter on deck. And he was really, really careful. Now they're going to take that visit. They'll Stottlemyre out of the dugout.
Now you bring up the experience of Isiah Kiner-Falefa.
Yes.
30 career big league at-bats entering tonight. That being said, he's been on base 4 times this evening.
Oh, he's had a good night. There's no question about it. But I think with Chu, the veteran, that's a little more concerning.
For sure.
When you look at it, he really has played well. A couple of walks, a couple of hits.
Rangers have him loaded. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. Chu the winning run at first base. Profar now at third.
37 pitches, 16 strikes. Gallo out at second base.
Almost hit him. .38 pitches. Gets a strike.
Helped him out a little bit right there.
Heredia quickly back. Heredia with room. Mariners win. They take the series. And Edwin Diaz gets out of the jam.
It's the first time when we really saw him struggle. He had to get 4 outs to pick up the save tonight. So you don't know what kind of effect that had on him. But he struggled throwing strikes right at the beginning of this inning. But the good news is he does get the save. The Mariners get the win. Give the lineup a lot of credit. Down in this game early. They had to fight their way back the entire game. End up scoring 9 runs to get the win. A really good offensive night for a lot of players in this lineup.
That's a series win for the Mariners. A chance for a sweep tomorrow. Day baseball from Texas as the Mariners win it 9-7. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines starts right now. Guys, Dave, Brad, it's all yours.
Fairly close for tonight's game for Seattle.